So you feel in your mind that it was a proportional response for him to choke him out to death in that situation because he was going to become such a threat to the person who choked him out.
But you made a big leap right there.
So the threat that he was going to do.
It is proportional to subdue someone that is threatening other people and saying he'll die in the process.
And end up killing him, even if that was...
So, see, now you're doing it again. You're ascribing intent.
So the proportionality of action in your mind was justified to what he was doing, his actual actions.
He held the guy on the ground while he said, call 911.
And killed him. And choked him out until he died.
You're doing it again.
I'm not saying he intended to kill him. That's the difference, right? But if he ended up dying as a result of that, was that proportional?
Yes.
He needed to be killed.
No.
Or he could have killed someone else.
Hold on. Stop that.
Less than 1.3% of abortions take place near the 8th or 9th month.
How many abortions
is that? Guttmacher?
Well, how many is that?
I don't know the actual numbers. This is the percentages.
13,000.
Okay, but we're talking about less than 1.3%.
Hold on, 13,000. That's the number of people who die from gun violence in the U.S. each year that aren't suicide.
Why kill the baby if they're removing it?
I don't think they should do that. I would if they asked me, Lance, should I do this? I would say no, but she should have a right. Yes, of course. It's her body still.
In the instance of a failed abortion, what should be done?
At that point, you cannot kill that child. That would be murder.
Oh, okay.
Agreed on that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So then where does the mother's choice come in to kill?
Before that procedure takes place. Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going. There is a product that is FDA approved for use with children that is a puberty blocker, and it has been used for a long time, for generations and decades. It's Lupron. It was just being done.
No, but that's for an entirely different reason. So, for example, if we have been amputating people's limbs for hundreds of years, if I go into a doctor and say, please cut my arm off because I don't want it anymore, and he cuts my arm off, that's medical malpractice. For you to jump in and go, we've been cutting people's arms off for hundreds of years. This is medically approved. People are allowed to do this.
So let's focus then on the sterilizing of the individual. Are you okay with that?
Who's sterilizing people?
Jazz Jennings is sterile.
Why are we going back to Jazz Jennings? I don't know anything
famous.
about her.
Because Jazz is a famous individual on cable television.
So if she is sterile for whatever reason, what does that have to do with me? Why does that concern me? Why should I pass legislation
the sterilization of teenagers?
Every single medical association in the United States agrees on gender-affirming care.
Then you know what they should do?
Every single one.
You know what they should do? They should produce one single randomized controlled trial for puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones to show that it's safe and effective. But they have not. So it's not healthcare, it's experimentation.
Hey, if you like that extended intro, make sure you leave a like on the video. My editor had to suffer through the entire 2 hours of Timcast to pull out some of the few of the many self-owns that one of the most disingenuous leftists on the internet dropped last night on Timcast IRL. Now, I do want to say this. Credit where credit is due. He showed up. And for literally any other leftist, even including Vosh, who did show up, I would give them a lot of credit for it. The problem with this guy, Lance, is he is a weirdo stalker of mine, a weirdo reply guy, which would be fine and normal if he just could, like, literally stop lying for 30 seconds. He's one of the most disingenuous, slimy individuals I've ever come across. Argues entirely in bad faith, and that was on epic display last night. And we're going to take a look at the rest of it after a super quick word from this video's sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. That's right, Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pinned comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. Hey, I know it's maybe a weird thought to be making that change, especially for the fellas, but you've got almost nothing to lose, and I do think if you give Sheath a try, you're really going to like them. They've been a long-term sponsor of the channel and have endured a lot of weak cancel culture attempts to get them to drop me, so give them a try. Now, Lance, who operates a very small YouTube channel that just simply cannot grow because essentially people, do come across his content because he's well networked on Twitter, and he can often get a lot of likes and retweets on stuff, in particular criticizing the right wing or people he perceives as right wing. The thing is, once people actually watch his content, they realize he knows literally nothing and only can hold ideas when basically he frames them in the most disingenuous, bad faith way possible. And this is a perfect example, just one of my favorite positions. This is Lance discussing from the Young Turks. I'm sorry, not from the Young Turks. He wishes. Discussing terminating your pregnancy when you're 9 months pregnant. And you can watch him literally short circuit in real time.
You believe that the moment after the child is outside of the birth canal,
Sure.
that they are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh, no, I don't think anything is acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside of her body,
hold on.
and not
What
her.
about
Watch Tim get him here. Tim was in rare form. It was like Joe Rogan Tim.
meth?
Should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the service is in the United States.
Child services?
I guess
child
DCFS
services?
would be.
Oh,
yeah.
it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
So is it?
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going.
I don't understand what you're saying. It's her body.
It's her
if
body.
She wants to do meth. What's the problem?
Well, first off, doing meth is illegal, period. Doesn't matter if you're doing it.
You believe that the moment after the child.
It gets even better. It just gets even better. Like, it was absolutely, positively, just hilarious.
Because you're the one who brought this up. I don't know what Colorado specific law. She have the ability to complete medical
clip.
necessity. She has a right to do it.
Wait, here's the rest of the clip.
You're trying to compare murdering someone with a gun to a woman having to make a medical decision that could basically preserve her life.
No. I said
death.
not a medical reason. That's what I'm saying.
Should she have the ability to have an abortion for any reason? Yes.
At 9 months.
At 9 months, I would say at 9 months, because it only happens according to the stats based on complete medical necessity. She has a right to do it.
No. Hold on. Colorado legalized abortion up to 9 months with no medical reason required. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that decision, yes.
So the baby could survive on its own, and the mother is legally now allowed to just end its life.
She has the right if she wanted to. You're saying so in Colorado, and
it's not a trick question. You're
I know, but I'm asking you because you're the one who brought this up. I don't know what Colorado specific law says. So if you were saying that in Colorado, women have the ability at 9 months to have an abortion for any reason, they could just decide that they're
Elective,
bored.
yeah.
Okay, I think they should have the right to do that, but the stats show that they're not doing that. But they should have a legal right to do that. Yes, it's their body, it's their choice, of course.
So this is what I disagree on. I think if the baby needs to be removed from the woman, there's no reason to kill it. You know what I mean? Like you could just C-section and then put it for adoption.
But I'm telling you that doesn't happen.
But it does. But hold on.
Like you might be able to bring up anecdotes, but the stats don't say that.
Hold on. Like, why allow it to happen? I just don't understand. Are you arguing? Hold on. Are you arguing you oppose it, and you think it's morally wrong, but you think it should be legal?
I think that women should have the right to decide what they do and have bodily autonomy over their own bodies.
We're not talking about her body. We're talking.
It is her body. Of course it is. At 9 months, even if it's still inside her, it's still her body. Even if it's a viable baby,
we're talking about the removal of the baby. Yes.
The forceful removal of the baby, or
forceful.
So she chooses to have that. She should have the right.
The woman says the baby must be removed from my body. Why kill the baby if they're removing it?
I don't think they should do that. I would if they ask me, Lance, should I do this? I would say no, but she should have a right. Yes, of course. It's her body still.
Are you kidding me? And it, I mean, even Destiny, here we go. He gets caught here too.
1776's Life says, what is a woman?
Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah.
A woman is an adult human female.
Oh.
Easy enough?
I agree with that.
So trans women are not women?
Oh,
Also,
absolutely.
I would answer that.
They're
What is a
all
woman?
human females.
A woman is hot.
Trans women aren't female, they're male.
No, they're female.
So they have female gametes and whatnot?
Oh, this is actually very interesting. Do you want to talk about gametes? So in embryonic development, when you have two gametes, obviously the sperm and the egg, they combine, right? Usually it's the 23rd chromosome, the XX or the XY, that is going to determine whether or not someone becomes a male or a female.
I mean, like, there's endless clips of this.
Okay, so my follow-up is, you think trans people feel safer than ever?
No. Right now there's over 400 different bills being pushed in the United States that is directly targeting trans people.
So they don't feel safe?
Of course they don't.
So then why are they coming out if they don't feel safe?
They have more access.
Oops. Oopsie doopsie. I mean, that's you know, this is on the back of him saying, oh gosh, so there's just so many more trans people now than ever before because they feel safe coming out. Well, those two things aren't the same, right? If they're also under attack.
Because that Generation Z, has a lot more acceptance towards trans people than older people who pass laws, draconian people who pass laws. The boomers are the ones running the show right now. They're still the ones in government. They're still the ones passing laws. There's very few Generation Z in government or parliament.
You want to know what I think? I think there is a trans genocide.
Okay.
And I think it's you.
Okay.
Because you're sterilizing a lot of these people.
How so?
I mean, they're literally sterilizing them. The surgery to remove the gonads, hysterectomies, and puberty and cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers have a high rate of sterilization. I mean, first of all, removal of the gonads in the uterus is an absolute sterilization, and then puberty blockers have a very high rate, and cross-sex hormones have an extremely high rate of sterilization.
Good job, Timmy. Really good job. All I could say is, you know, I'd normally give any leftist kudos for going on a show, but Lance is one of the most disingenuous, bad faith people on the planet. So I'm not giving him any props for that. Go get some new underwear from Sheath at the link in the description below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.